This is MushroomFiction, and thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Leo ended up in a world full of snow and ice. It was cold, and he thought he would die. He didn't think he could move. It hurt too much to move. He turned his head and shook, feeling as if he would die if he didn't move his head to look. He could feel his life slowly leave him as he breathed deeply. He fell here when he opened a portal. He meant to go to the beach, like he did that one time with his brothers, but he got portal jacked again. He thought this was over when he was a teen, but apparently not. He looked around one more time before his eyes started to close. What would happen to his brothers, his sister April, and Dad? He started to cry. He didn't want to die, not like this. Anything but this. Just then he heard footsteps. The crunch was heard from his side as he began to panic. He moved around, but not by much, and started to cry, slow tears coming down his face. A figure of black and white was seen in his view as they bent down. They lightly touched his head. "Don't cry," he heard brokenly fading out. Later on he awoke to the noise of wind howling outside, but it was no longer right near his head, but far away now. He lifted slowly, opening his eyes as he did so, and found he was in a cave. There was also a fire next to him, and it felt so nice to his cold skin. He looked down to see he was covered in white furry blankets, but he was scared that they were real animal skins. "You should be laying down," a rough voice was heard, and Leo whipped to the sound of it and regretted it right away as the room spinned with him. "I told you, you just had hypothermia. And you still might have it, so please stay still." They kneeled down next to him, lightly pushing him down. They covered him back up with the furs. "Is this really fur?" he asked. "Yes, it is. Problem?" They tilted their head. "That's so gross." "Better than freezing to death. You aren't a beast like me, so you're fragile. If it makes you feel any better, they're old, and not new." He rolled his eyes. "No, that does not," he said in a whisper, but they heard. "What happened to you, and why are you in the beast world?" they asked, tending to the fire, sitting very relaxed. "I got portal jacked, and I was gonna go to the beach, but then I ended up here, and by my luck, I took a bad fall, and now I'm here," he said, huffing, waving his hands in the air. They laughed, while Leo glared at them. "Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, but that is new indeed. Most come through a door we have. You just fell out of the sky. Lucky for you, all that happened was a broken leg." Leo knew that now it made sense as to why his leg wasn't moving. It hurt too much to do so. Leo took a moment to take a good look at them. They looked like a white tiger, almost like a thunder god in the Japanese myth, but white instead of orange. Also, they had no drums. Their hair was short, most likely due to all of the high winds. It would just smack them in the face, but some braids did come out of the sides of their head. Their face was covered in a black tiger-like lines. They had bright eyes too as well. Even their outfit was very fantasy-like. They even had a collar around their neck. Odd. "Do you have any thunder powers?" he asked. "Oh, no. More like ice. An orange tiger beast would, but not me. My kind is more of a rare type around here, even in my race," they said. Leo nods his head. "So, what do they call you around here?" They blinked and laughed. "What's so fucking funny?" he yelled. "Usually no one asks that. I usually get the whole 'I'm gonna kill you' and that's it." They hold their middle while laughing. They rub a tear out of their eye. "I'm your name, White Tiger Beast." They smiled at Leo. "I'm Leo, Leonardo Hamato, but just Leo is fine." Thanks for saving me, that is." He smiled back, and your name blushed at that. Well, you were crying, so I just couldn't leave you there." They looked off. "I was not crying. It was just snowflakes melting." Your name chuckled loudly, and then full-on laughed at Leo. Leo blushed, but said nothing. He actually quite liked that laugh they made. "Well, you'll have to stay here till you get better. I have to stay I have to stay here with you the whole time unless I'm getting food or something. Leo looked up. You said people tried to kill you before, asking your name. What do you mean by that? Your name sadly but surely smiled at him. In this world, it's kill or be killed. We are animals, and as animals, the food chain and such is a real thing here, much like in your world. I knew you weren't from here because you smell different. More like some non human but human, it's odd to pinpoint. They rub their chin. I'm a mutant turtle mixed with human and turtle DNA. So, yeah, that might be what you're talking about. Your name's ears stood up. Really? A nod. That makes sense then as to why you smell so good then. They went back to the fire to tend to it. Wait, what? You're not gonna eat me, are you? They quickly looked back over. No, you idiot. I am not. What kind of tiger do you take me for? Leo backed away and glared at Your Name. They grunted. Ugh, you're such an idiot. Your Name pinned Leo down for a moment and Leo yelped. I am not going to eat you. They looked into his eyes and Leo gulped while blushing a bright red color. Your Name didn't see this, or didn't care because they didn't move till Leo agreed. He started frantically nodding. Finally. I just meant that humans have a nice smell, like flowers and such, and since you're an animal too, you smell like nature. That's all I meant. I don't eat small fry dummies like you. They looked at him. They noticed the small twitch he was making and reached out to touch his cheek, rubbing softly. Hey, I told you not to worry, didn't I? I saved you. I'm not gonna leave you here. I'm gonna make sure you're well and healthy before sending you back home, okay? They never blinked and made a silent promise to him, and Leo couldn't help but tear up at that. I don't even know you that well, and you want to help me? He shook his head. They smiled. I don't need a reason. They looked sternly at him. I can do whatever the hell I want, and no one can tell me otherwise, not even you. They still hovered over him, but this time holding his hand a little. You get me now? He nods. Yeah, I do. Your Name. Thanks. They still saw the tears coming down his face and bent down, licking them up, and Leo's mind stopped working. His face was dark, a couple shades of red, and smoke came out, and he even muttered out a noise that sounded broken and shocked. Stop crying already. It really messes with me. He just nods quickly and keeps going, hoping that they'll finally get off of him. They laughed. Haha, you really are a weird one. They pushed the hair out of their face and finally got up. Okay, get some sleep. It should take 3 days to get you up so I can get you home. They sat down next to him and laid a hand on his head. Yeah. I hope my brothers aren't too worried about me. I hope my phone will work in this place. Leo slowly closed his eyes, since the rubbing of his head was nice. Good night, Your Name. He fell asleep. Good night, you little cutie. They kissed his head and stayed there for a bit, cheek resting on his forehead. Please don't cry anymore. I really should stop. I can't get close again. Not ever again. Damn it. They kissed his head one last time before going back to tend to the fire.